My ex invited me to his engagement party, just to show off the upgrade. He laughed as I walked in alone. 10 minutes later, my plus one arrived, his company's CEO. The room fell silent and my ex turned pale. When my ex invited me to his engagement party, I knew exactly what he was doing. It wasn't some olive branch or closure nonsense. It was a performance. A show. A way to parade his new model girlfriend in front of the woman he left after she gave birth to his child. I almost threw the invitation away. The envelope was heavy like it was expensive, with gold foil and scripted lettering that screamed "We have something to prove." Inside was a photo of them. Him in a white linen shirt with the sleeves rolled up, her in a bikini that probably cost more than my rent. I hadn't seen him in nearly a year. Not since he called me a drained version of who I used to be and slammed the door while our newborn son screamed in my arms. So yeah, I wasn't just going to show up. I was going to set the room on fire. Quietly. What Tyler didn't know was that the man I'd been dating for the last few months wasn't just anyone. He was Nathan Langford, the CEO of the company Tyler worked for. The same company he'd bragged about climbing through the ranks at. The same man he called a robot in a suit when he thought no one was listening. Nathan and I met during a job interview I wasn't even supposed to get. I was a last-minute fill-in for a maternity cover, still half broken from the mess Tyler left behind. But Nathan saw something in me. Not just professionally. He asked me out after my contract ended. I wasn't sure at first, but he was patient, funny, and didn't flinch when I mentioned I had a kid. He even helped build Leo's crib. When I told him about the invitation, he didn't ask if I wanted to skip it. He just asked what time we should be there. I arrived 10 minutes early. Alone. That part was important. I wanted Tyler to think I came by myself, clinging to some idea of making peace. The second I walked in, his face lit up with that smug fake sympathy. Like he pitied me. Like he won. He was standing with his fiancée, Camila I think, and his family. They all paused their drinks just long enough to scan me top to bottom. I knew what they saw. A single mom in a tight dress, alone, unbothered. He leaned in and said something that made his sister laugh. Then the front doors opened. Nathan walked in, calm, deliberate, and very much the center of gravity in the room. Heads turned. Whispers started before he even made it to me. He walked past the crowd without glancing at anyone and kissed me like we were already married. Tyler's mouth opened but nothing came out. His fiancée stared at Nathan like she couldn't process who he was. Tyler's dad actually dropped his glass. No one moved. No one breathed. And I hadn't even said hello yet. Nathan didn't linger on introductions. He just turned to me and asked if I wanted a drink like we were out on a casual date. I nodded and he walked off toward the bar like he owned the place, which in a way he kind of did. That was the beauty of it. He didn't have to say a word. His presence alone said everything. Tyler followed us with his eyes the entire time. I could feel it like heat on the back of my neck. His little performance was over before it started. I made my way through the room past the gawkers and whisperers. I stopped to chat with a few people I remembered from the good years. Co-workers, old mutual friends, people who used to look through me when I was pushing a stroller and juggling diapers in grocery aisles. Now they were all smiles and compliments. Amazing what a dress, confidence, and a powerful man can do for your social worth. Tyler finally approached. He didn't greet me or even ask how I was. Just stood there beside me like we were in a movie that hadn't been scripted properly. "You came," he said. I shrugged. "Got the invite. Figured it'd be fun. Is that really who you're with now?" He didn't even try to hide the bitterness in his voice. I kept it light. "Yeah. Been a few months. He's great with Leo." That last part hit him. I saw it. His jaw tightened like he wanted to correct me, to say something about his son, but he didn't. Probably because Nathan was walking back toward us with 2 glasses of champagne. Tyler stepped back like he was about to leave but didn't. Nathan handed me my drink and looked at Tyler like he was a stranger at a networking event. Polite but detached. "I don't think we've met. Nathan Langford." Tyler forced a smile. Shook his hand. Introduced himself like he didn't know damn well who he was. Camila, watching from a few feet away, looked uncomfortable. I couldn't blame her. It didn't take long for the mood of the party to shift. Conversations started again, but there was a static in the air. People kept looking at us. At me. Nathan. At Tyler. The room felt like it was being held together by scotch tape and spite. Later that night, while Nathan was talking with one of the investors he knew, Tyler caught me alone near the outdoor patio. He asked if we could talk privately. I said sure, because I wanted to hear whatever nonsense he was about to feed me. He said I looked good. That he was surprised, but in a good way. Then he said Camila wasn't serious, that they just kind of happened fast and it's been more of a social climb than anything else. I nodded, pretending to care. He leaned in and asked if I was really happy with Nathan. Before I could answer, he asked the real question. What does he actually do all day? Like, does he talk about work with you? That's when it clicked. He didn't want me back. He wanted access. This wasn't about regret or missing me. It was about trying to dig his way up the corporate ladder using whatever leftovers he thought he still had control over. So I smiled and said maybe we could catch up sometime. Grab a drink, talk. Just to give him hope. Just enough rope. Because I already knew what I was going to do. The next day I told Nathan everything. Not just the part about Tyler being shady at the party. I told him everything. The fights. The bruises I used to hide under makeup. The night I left with Leo and no plan. And how Tyler had just tried to use me to fish for information. Like I was some pawn he could dust off and play when it suited him. Nathan didn't say much at first. Just listened, hand resting on my knee like a quiet promise. Then he asked me calmly if I was comfortable playing along a little longer. I said yes before he even finished the question. It started small. Tyler started texting. First pretending to be casual. Jokes about old memories, how wild it was to see me again, how maybe we weren't as broken as we thought. I responded like I was nostalgic too. I let him think I was softening. Then he asked to meet for coffee. Said he just wanted to talk like we used to. I agreed. We met at this little cafe near his office. I came in light, smiley, wearing the same perfume I wore back when we first met. The manipulation practically glowed off him. He started asking about Nathan. Subtle at first. Like, what does he do after work? What's his routine like? What kind of meetings does he have? Stuff that might have seemed innocent if I hadn't known him so well. He was fishing hard, pretending he cared about me when really he just wanted insider knowledge. Probably to impress someone or weasel his way into a promotion. Nathan and I kept a record of everything. Screenshots, texts, meeting logs, all of it. I'd walk into Tyler's trap with a smile and then debrief Nathan over dinner. It was honestly hilarious. Tyler had no idea he was digging his own grave. Then came the final play. Nathan called an internal review meeting. Nothing out of the ordinary, just one of those quarterly updates with a few department heads. Tyler walked in looking sharp, trying too hard, acting like he had some inside edge. He was even smirking at me across the table like we shared a secret. And then Nathan pulled up a screen with chat logs, emails, transcripts, and then, with the whole room watching, asked him to explain what exactly he thought he was doing when he tried to use his ex-girlfriend, who also happened to be dating the CEO, for corporate espionage. Tyler froze. Denied it at first. Then tried to twist it into a joke. Nathan didn't laugh. Security walked him out 20 minutes later. And just like that, Tyler's shiny little empire, his career, his status, his ego, crumbled in front of everyone he tried to impress. He tried to text me later that night. Said I ruined his life. Said I was a snake. Said I'd regret it. I didn't answer. I was too busy watching a movie with Leo curled up next to me and Nathan making popcorn in the kitchen. Funny how karma works when you stop running from it and start serving it with a smile. After he got fired, Tyler's messages changed tone. First came the rage. He called me a traitor, a user, a liar. Said I'd set him up, like he hadn't tried to do the same to me first. Then came the guilt trips. He started sending photos of Leo from when he was a baby as if that would trigger something. Said he missed his son, that we could try again, that maybe this was a blessing in disguise. I didn't respond. Nathan told me not to block him. Not yet. Said it was better to let him spiral. Let him dig deeper on his own while we watched. And he did. Word spread fast in his industry. One day he was the golden boy climbing toward a VP role. The next he was the guy who got fired by Nathan Langford in front of the executive team. No one wanted to touch him. His references dried up. Rumors spread. The tech world isn't big when you're arrogant and sloppy. Meanwhile, Camila bailed within the week. She posted a vague story about walking away from toxic energy and unfollowed him on everything. Almost felt bad. Almost. The funny part. His mother called me. I hadn't spoken to her since Leo was born, when she showed up to the hospital and asked if I was planning to snap back soon. She left after 15 minutes and didn't check in again. But now suddenly she wanted to talk. Said she didn't understand what had happened, that Tyler was struggling, that maybe I could encourage Nathan to reconsider. I hung up mid-sentence. That week, Nathan and I flew to Aspen for a company retreat. I brought Leo. First class everything. While Tyler was scrambling to clean up his resume, I was watching my son build snowmen with a man who treated him like he was already family. On the last night there, Nathan looked at me across the balcony, snow falling behind him, and asked how it felt, finally watching someone like Tyler fall apart on his own. I told him it felt quiet. Because the truth is, it wasn't just about revenge. It was about freedom. Tyler used to make me feel like I needed his approval just to breathe. Now he was out there gasping for air in a world that no longer cared about his fake charm. And I was exactly where I was meant to be. A few weeks later, I started getting messages from people I hadn't heard from in years. Some were from Tyler's friends. Well, former friends. Apparently he was couch hopping, jobless, and blaming me for everything. Said I ruined his career out of spite. One guy even asked me if it was true that I was sleeping my way up and using Nathan to get revenge. I didn't bother responding. If they were still loyal to Tyler after everything, they weren't people I needed in my life. But then something unexpected happened. I got a message from a woman I didn't know. Her name was Elise. She said she used to date Tyler. Before me. Said she saw my name come up in some gossip thread and needed to reach out. I hesitated, but curiosity got the better of me. We met for coffee. He told me he hit her too. Same patterns. Same charming start, same sudden switch. She said he used to tell her she was lucky to have him. That no one else would want someone with her baggage. That he was the best she'd ever do. She tried to leave twice, but he always found a way to pull her back in. Until one day she just disappeared. Moved cities. Changed her number. Hearing her talk was like listening to an echo of my own past. It shook me more than I expected. I didn't tell Nathan everything right away. I just sat with it. Wondered how many other women had quietly picked up their broken pieces and vanished. Tyler wasn't just a bad ex. He was a pattern. A walking red flag dressed in expensive suits and fake smiles. A week later, I was having dinner at Nathan's when he brought up something new. He wanted to start a foundation. Something small at first for women who were starting over after abusive relationships. Help with housing, childcare, job placement. He said he'd been thinking about it since I first told him what happened. I didn't even realize I was crying until he pulled me in and said, "It doesn't end with him. It ends with you." That night, I looked at Leo while he slept and felt something I hadn't in a long time. Peace. Tyler didn't just lose a job. He lost access. Influence. The power he used to hold over people was gone, and now the truth was circling back from people he probably forgot he even hurt. And I was finally starting to see that the best revenge wasn't in what I'd done to him. It was in what I'd built without him. The last time I saw Tyler, he was standing outside Leo's daycare. I didn't even recognize him at first. He looked worn down. Baggy hoodie, unshaven, eyes hollow like he hadn't slept in days. He wasn't the polished, arrogant man I remembered. The one who used to spend more time fixing his hair than holding our son. He just looked small. He was leaning against the fence when I pulled into the lot. I didn't get out of the car right away. I just sat there watching him, heart pounding, wondering if I should call someone. But I didn't. I got out and walked up slowly, phone in my hand, keys between my fingers just in case. He didn't say anything until I was almost at the gate. I just wanted to see him. I didn't answer. He looked at the ground, then back at me and said it again. I just wanted to see Leo. One time. The nerve. The absolute nerve. After everything. After walking away from us. After not calling, not helping, not even sending a message when Leo had surgery last year. After raising his hand to me in our kitchen while I was holding our son. Now he was here. I told him the only way he was seeing Leo was through the courts. Supervised. Legally. They even allowed it. And he had the audacity to look hurt, like I was being cruel. "You ruined me," he said. Just like that. Like it was some fact. Like I was the storm and he was the victim. I didn't react. I didn't flinch. I just looked at him and said what I'd been holding in for years. "You ruined yourself." He tried to come back with something, probably some manipulative garbage, but I turned around and walked inside without waiting to hear it. Leo came running up to me, all smiles and crayon stains, and I scooped him up and carried him straight to the car. I didn't look back. I didn't need to. Later that night, I told Nathan. I expected him to be angry, to say we should involve legal. But he just looked at me and said, "He's not your problem anymore." And he was right. He wasn't. That week, Nathan's foundation officially launched. The press release included the mission statement, a few anonymous testimonials, and a short video featuring women who had come forward privately about partners like Tyler. Some of their stories were almost word for word what I had lived through. Same manipulation. Same emotional rot disguised as love. I spent hours reading the comments. Dozens of women talking about the moments they realized they weren't crazy. That they weren't weak. That they weren't alone. And something strange happened. I stopped feeling angry. I stopped reliving the nights I cried on the bathroom floor. The times I had to fake a smile in public while covering bruises. The way I used to shrink around people, unsure of whether I was too much or not enough. It all just lifted. Because Tyler wasn't my unfinished business anymore. He was just someone I used to know. Someone who thought the world owed him loyalty no matter how badly he treated people. Someone who believed women were disposable and consequences were optional. But he was wrong. And now the only man Leo knows is the one who makes pancakes on Sundays and teaches him how to tie his shoes. The one who treats me like I'm more than just what I've survived. The one who showed me that real love isn't loud or flashy. It's consistent. It's steady. Safe. So no, I didn't ruin Tyler's life. He just finally got what he'd been giving the rest of us for years. And I was too busy building something real to care about the ashes he was standing in. Final mini update. It's been 6 months since that day outside the daycare. No more surprise visits. No more texts. It's like he finally realized the door was locked, and not just locked but gone. Sealed off. Wall built. Key thrown into the ocean. Leo's thriving. He started preschool last month and came home after his first day and told Nathan he wanted to be a business boss like him. Nathan laughed and told him he'd be the CEO of whatever he wanted. Probably Legos. As for me, I've started speaking at events for the foundation. Just small ones for now, community centers, private panels, but it's become something I didn't expect. Healing. Standing in front of women who look like I did not long ago, scared and unsure, and telling them that survival is not where the story ends. It's where it begins. Sometimes I get asked if I've forgiven Tyler. The answer is no, but I've forgotten him. Not the lessons, not the warning signs, but him. He's a shadow I no longer look for. A ghost that finally gave up haunting me because I stopped giving it air. And the life I have now? It's not a comeback. It's a beginning. And this time it's mine.